Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. I guess I wanted to make a video on what probably my most primary. I've been listening to two artists for the most part a lot. I mean, I'm listening to new music, some of the new releases and stuff, some stuff coming up, of course. And I'm going to make the Hotel Laughing Tree review coming up soon, and other stuff. Like, stuff that's been announced, it's going to be announced. There's going to be a new Team Me song this week. I think it's this week. And there's Record Store Day. I probably should do a Record Store Day video this week. But my primary listening has been Bryan Scary. I've talked about a little bit recently. And Toe Hider, actually. But I'm not going to make a video right now on Toe Hider. I just was going to do a video on my experience with Bryan Scary at this point. I'm still not, what I would say, fully versed in everything Bryan Scary's done. But I've just, I've been over the last few weeks taking in a lot of Bryan Scary's music. So Bryan Scary, I was doing research, has a Wikipedia page, and his birth name is not Bryan Scary. It's Brian Treitler, Treitler. He's from like New York. At least he did music in New York. Brooklyn, New York, is it? Or yes, Brooklyn. Yeah. So I'm not sure if he's still there. I think he's out in LA now. Anyway, and his career started 2006. It's saying he went to college. I mean, the style of Bryan Scary is similar to a lot of the music from that period of time, from that area, oddly. I mean, it's not indie-tronica, but the Apes and Androids connections are just, it's weird. It's almost uncanny. You think about them. But there's Bryan Scary. He had his band called The Shedding Tears. I mentioned that in the previous video. And they put out, let's see here, the Shedding Tears album in 2006. And then, that was the name of it. Then, I thought he had another one. The Flight of the Knife, 2 years later, 2008. Right around the time Blood Moon came out, a couple months after that. And then, that was under the Shedding Tears. It's kind of weird how it's like Alan Parsons Project, that kind of thing. There are other members of the Shedding Tears. It was Bryan Scary and the Shedding Tears or whatever. But then he had Daffy's Elixir in 2012. That's the one I've probably listened to the most and I'm enjoying the most. It's a concept album about the West, kind of set in the Old West, or it's like a Western kind of concept record. And then, I mean, he's had other releases after that, after 2012, but I kind of look at, like on Spotify, the next really proper full-length album he has is Birds from 2019. And I've listened to that some, not a lot. So, like, you could say those were probably in effect, the four proper full-length albums he's made. But then he's got these other records and EPs, and he has this band called Evil Arrows, which they put out. It was like some other people from other bands. I forget what band it was. But he put out They put out 5 EPs in a matter of like a year and change. And I haven't listened to any of them yet, so I'm still in the process. But I'm really enjoying Daffy's Elixir first. And I'm really enjoying Flight of the Knife, I believe it is. Yeah. Those are probably those I think maybe by a lot of people's takes, they're the most go-to records in his catalog. Birds, see, the thing is, there's a lot of ELO elements to all those albums from 2006, maybe till 2012. Birds is where he kind of branches out a little bit more acoustic at points, from what I've heard. I've only listened to Birds a couple times. And he's put out some singles and EPs since, which are a little continuation on Birds, but not. There was another official, The Shedding Tears EP that came out in that was 2000. I thought it was 2019. Of course, Spotify's information doesn't always work. Mad Valentine's EP. But yeah, I mean, he's got a ton of songs I like. There's a lot of ELO in there, and so I'm kind of getting like ELO, not overdose, but his vocal style I hear from similarities in singers like a little bit Justin Harris from Phenomena, but Andy Sturmer from Jellyfish, and of course Jeff Lynne from ELO. A little bit like Matt Mahaffey. I think Matt Mahaffey himself is probably the biggest connection. Which, you know, the Apes and Androids thing. Apes and Androids actually was... The Apes and Androids connection? I'm thinking of... Because Needle Juice has Eldrin. Needle Juice actually distributed some of Bryan Scary's music as well. But yeah, I just... I gotta go through these. I could just go through every album. Maybe I'll do a video on every album and just go through tracks. I've heard a lot of them, but just write some notes down. Because there's a lot... It's like self-music in some ways, is that there are these songs that have like a melodic part, but then they have some kind of element that you really look forward to that sticks out. Like, there's a song off of... I was listening to Flight of the Knife today, and I listened to it about a week ago, and I was trying to remember why I hearted certain... The Purple Rocket has a really super fun section in it that you wait for and enjoy every time. So, yeah, I guess that this is sort of just like a slight overview on Bryan Scary. Well, I slept on him for a little while. I wish I would have known about him a long time ago, but it's like Dirt Poor Robins in some way. You know, I didn't know about Dirt Poor Robins until 2018, yet they put out, whatever it was, 5 albums, you know, and I could have known about them 10 years before almost. So, yeah, I think I'll do a follow-up, but that's sort of my initial impression about Bryan Scary and Bryan Scary and the Shedding Tears. And I haven't even listened to this other band that he's in a collaboration called the Evil Arrows, so... This is sort of just a precursor to maybe a larger video or a series of videos on Bryan Scary. But if you listen to Bryan Scary, what's your take on them? I mean, it's progressive pop, orchestral, kind of crazy at times, but not overly crazy. It's one guy really that he's done most of it. He's had other band members. The Evil Arrows project, I guess, is more collaborative, but he's had music for movies. There's a movie that's on Vimeo he did the music for that has... Is it that? No, it wasn't Vimeo. There's a Aubrey Plaza movie that he did the music for that I stumbled across on his IMDb profile. So, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We'll see you next time.